Dear friends, today I want to talk to you about an amazing topic, the possibility of communication between souls after death. It's something that touches each of us, although we are not always ready to discuss it openly. You know, sometimes the deepest questions come to us in moments of silence, when we remember those who were very dear to us but have already left this world. We look at their photographs, go through old belongings, and involuntarily ask ourselves, where are they now? Do they feel our love, our longing for them? I often speak with people who have lost loved ones and know how deeply they want to believe that the bond with their beloved doesn't end with death. Many share stories of inexplicable coincidences, signs, or dreams in which they met their departed relatives, and every time a spark of hope lights up in their eyes. What if it was truly a message? What if our souls can communicate even after the physical body ceases to exist? Today, we will try to delve into this complex and exciting question. We will talk honestly and openly, relying not only on ancient beliefs and modern research, but also on the real experiences of people who have encountered the mysterious and unexplainable. The question of the possibility of communication between souls after death is not merely a philosophical reflection. For many people, it becomes a vital issue, especially when they lose their closest loved ones. Suddenly, abstract discussions transform into a pressing personal need to understand whether it is possible to maintain a connection with those we love even after their departure. Imagine a mother who has lost a child or a person whose spouse has unexpectedly left this world. In such moments, the question of whether souls can communicate ceases to be just a topic for reflection. It becomes an anchor that helps them cope with the pain of loss. People begin to seek signs, notice coincidences, and give special meaning to dreams where their loved ones appear. And this is not surprising. After all, if you think about it, how can love, so strong and deep, simply vanish? Can a bond that has formed over years be severed in an instant? These questions make us ponder the nature of the human soul. What happens after physical death? And whether souls can maintain contact with each other in another dimension. Interestingly, the topic of communication between souls after death has been significant to people since ancient times. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the souls of the deceased not only existed in the afterlife, but could also communicate with each other and even send messages to the living. Ancient Egyptians left special instruction texts in tombs, which they believed helped the soul navigate the other world and find other deceased individuals. In the Buddhist tradition, there is the concept of an intermediate state between death and rebirth, Bardo. According to these beliefs, souls in Bardo can meet and interact with one another, share experiences, and even help those just beginning their journey in this space. Tibetan sages created detailed descriptions of this state, which were passed down from generation to generation. In the Christian tradition, the attitude toward communication between souls after death is more reserved. It is believed that the souls of the righteous dwell in paradise, where they can communicate with each other and with angels, praising God. However, direct communication with the living is not encouraged. The Church warns against attempts to deliberately establish such contact, considering it dangerous for a person's spiritual health. In Islam, there is also a concept that the souls of the deceased can meet in a special place, Barzakh, where they await Judgment Day. According to this tradition, the souls of the righteous can visit their living relatives every Friday. Although the living are unaware of this, it is astonishing how different cultures, developing independently, arrived at similar ideas about the possibility of souls maintaining a connection after physical death. This suggests that such a belief responds to some deep seated need of human nature. In our time, science has also turned its attention to the phenomenon of soul communication, especially studying cases of clinical death. Dr. Raymond Moody, who gathered thousands of testimonies from people who experienced near death events, discovered a remarkable pattern. Many patients spoke of encounters with deceased relatives during the time they were between life and death. These encounters were incredibly vivid and left a profound imprint on their memory. Modern research in neuroscience shows that during clinical death, the brain exhibits extraordinary activity. Scientists have recorded bursts of electrical activity even after the heart has stopped beating. This discovery raises the question, could our consciousness indeed exist independently of the physical body? Particularly intriguing are cases where people, while in a state of clinical death, obtained information they could not possibly have known. For example, upon meeting deceased relatives, they learned about events that occurred after these people's deaths, and later, these details were confirmed. Or they described the appearance of long dead relatives whom they had never seen in life, and these descriptions precisely matched real photographs. Researchers from different countries note striking similarities in the accounts of people who have experienced near death experiences. Regardless of culture, religion, or education, many talk about encounters with departed loved ones who seem to come to help them transition, or conversely, to say that it is not yet their time to leave. These testimonies are so numerous and consistent that they compel even the most steadfast skeptics to consider the possibility of some form of consciousness existing after physical death. The most striking evidence of soul communication comes from the real stories of ordinary people. Such cases often occur at the moment of a loved one's death, even if family members are thousands of kilometers apart. For example, there's the story of a nurse from California who woke up in the middle of the night with a clear sense of her mother's presence. She felt the familiar scent of her mother's perfume and heard her voice saying, "Everything will be okay." The next morning, she learned that, at that exact moment, her mother had passed away in a hospital in another state. Or consider the case of twin brothers from Texas. One of the brothers died in a car accident, but minutes before the tragedy, the other brother, who was hundreds of miles away from the scene, suddenly felt sharp chest pain and unexplained anxiety. Later, it was revealed that this was the exact moment of the accident, during which his brother suffered a fatal chest injury. Stories like these, corroborated by witnesses and documentation, make us ponder the existence of a special bond between close people that remains unbroken even by death. It's also remarkable how often people report having prophetic dreams where deceased relatives warn them of danger or provide important advice that later proves to be life-saving in reality. For our psyche, the belief in the possibility of communication with the souls of deceased loved ones plays a special role. Psychologists note that this is a natural and often healing mechanism that helps cope with a heavy loss. When a person loses someone close, their mind refuses to accept a complete severance of the bond. It's too painful and traumatic. Therefore, the belief that some form of communication is still possible helps gradually accept the loss and adapt to a new reality. Interestingly, even the most rational people, when faced with the loss of a loved one, start noticing signs of their presence. A favorite song suddenly plays on the radio. Unusual coincidences related to significant dates occur, or strange events happen involving objects cherished by the deceased. Psychologists explain this as heightened attention to specific events. But for a grieving person, such moments become an important source of comfort and support. Dreams about deceased loved ones play an especially significant role. Unlike ordinary dreams, they are often perceived as real encounters. People describe them as very vivid, filled with a unique sense of presence and love. After such dreams, many feel relieved, as if they truly had a chance to speak with the departed, say what they didn't manage to in life, or hear important words of forgiveness and support. Experts emphasize, as long as this belief does not turn into an obsessive state and does not hinder a person's ability to move forward, it can be very beneficial for the healing process after a loss. It helps preserve an emotional connection with the departed, gradually transforming the acute pain of loss into a bright memory. When we talk about coping with the loss of loved ones, it's crucial to find a healthy balance between remembering those who have passed and continuing one's own life. There's no need to be ashamed of believing in the possibility of a spiritual connection with those we've lost. But it's also important not to let this belief turn into an obsession that prevents us from moving forward. If you feel the presence of a deceased loved one, receive signs, or have prophetic dreams, accept these experiences as part of your personal journey. Don't try to prove anything to anyone or seek constant confirmation of the connection. Remember, the most important bond is the one that lives in your heart, in your memories, and in the love you shared in life. Be attentive to yourself. If thoughts about communicating with the departed start causing anxiety, disrupting sleep, or interfering with daily life, don't hesitate to seek help from a specialist. Sometimes we need support to find the right path between remembering the past and living in the present. And there's nothing shameful about it. It's simply part of our human experience. We've reached the end of our discussion about the amazing ability of souls to maintain a connection beyond physical existence. And you know what's most important? Love is indeed stronger than death. It doesn't disappear or dissolve into nothingness. It simply takes on other forms. Each of us follows our own path in understanding and accepting the loss of loved ones. For some, it's enough to simply cherish bright memories. Others find comfort in dreams and signs, and some feel the real presence of the departed nearby. All these paths are valid if they help us keep living, preserving love and gratitude in our hearts. Remember that the connection with those we love is not measured by physical presence. It lives in every act of kindness we do in their memory, in every smile we share with others, remembering their smiles, in every moment when we share with the world the love they gave us. And if you are currently experiencing the loss of a loved one, know this: you are not alone. Your love and your memories are that invisible thread that connects souls across all boundaries of existence. Dear friends, thank you for being with me today and for sharing these important thoughts and feelings. Please share your stories in the comments. Perhaps you too have had unusual experiences related to departed loved ones. Your experience could support those who are going through similar situations now. If this topic resonates with you, if you also reflect on the mysteries of life and death, on the connection between souls, subscribe to our channel. Here we talk about the most important things, about what concerns each of us. Click the subscription button, turn on the notification bell, and let's search together for answers to life's deepest questions. See you in the next episodes.